Hey folks, welcome back to another episode here on the Mr. Analyst channel. I'm a few days late. You have to excuse me, of course. As you know, we've been doing a lot of work with the hurricane relief effort and trying to help people to get their messaging out. But I had to comment on the finalist for the World Track Athlete of the Year that was recently announced by World Athletics. Now, the finalists are Sidney McLaughlin-Levrone and Femke Bol. Both athletes were outstanding during 2025. No problem with their accomplishments. But I have a problem with the selection process because there's some things that don't make any sense to me. Now, the athletes were the initial five that were nominated. Faith Kipyegon, outstanding 1500 meter Olympic champion, world champion again this year, silver in the 5,000, and of course, setting a world record again in the 1500. You have the outstanding Beatrice Chebet, 5,000 gold, 10,000 gold at the World Championships in Tokyo, replicating the performance from Paris last year. Then you had Femke Bol, of course, winning the world title in the 400-meter hurdles, something she was expected to do, especially since Sidney McLaughlin was not competing in the event this year. Of course, Sidney McLaughlin winning the World Championship in the second fastest time ever run by a woman in the event, 47.78, absolutely outstanding. And of course, Melissa Jefferson-Wooden, 10:61, fourth fastest time in history, and winning the 221.6. Now, the criteria is as follows. The social media numbers are one. That counts for 25% of the final marks. And then another 25% from the World Athletics family. Now, the World Athletics family is all 214 federations and the different confederations, and of course, the individuals within the World Athletics period. The final 50% of that vote now comes to the World Athletics Council. Those are the people who sit on the World Athletics Council. Now, I'm going to read some numbers for you from the social media platform. Of course, that covers X, Instagram, and I think it was TikTok as well. Now, Faith Kipyegon picked up 48,000 combined across all three platforms, 48,395 votes. Beatrice Chebet, 31,334. Femke Bol, 23,619. Sidney McLaughlin-Levrone, 21,107. And of course, Melissa Jefferson-Wooden, 12,227. The final two women, to their credit, or to the caveat to those two, I should say, is that they don't have very heavy social media presence. They're busy training or doing whatever else they do. So those are the numbers coming up from the social media. The World Athletics family, their votes count for 25%, which ended up with Femke Bol and Sidney McLaughlin-Levrone being the finalists, which, of course, now the vote will continue again until the 9th of November, after which then the World Athletics Council does their thing and then announces the winner. The thing that bothers me is this. Femke Bol won an event that she was expected to win. Okay? Sydney wasn't there, so yeah. And Femke ran well all year, and of course unbeaten in that event. Sidney McLaughlin, everyone stepped down from the 400-meter hurdles and did spectacularly well in the 400 meters. Can't take that from her either. But I have a problem when you look at what two athletes in particular. Beatrice Chebet won the 5,000 and 10,000 double at the World Championships. Do you know how difficult that is to do? And that's two individual events, where she takes on what for me certainly is a ridiculous double. And she is not among the finalists. Similarly, Melissa Jefferson-Wooden ran the 100 unbeaten for 2025, despite the fact that she had an incredible rival in Julian Alfred from St. Lucia, many of whom and many pundits, I should say, myself included, felt that Julian probably would have won, which means that was how close it was. Because the only time Julian lost before the World Championships was in Oregon when Melissa beat her within 10.75 into a minus 1.5 win. Julian won 10.77. So it was close. But not only did she win the 100 in 10.61, which puts her only behind Flojo and, of course, Elaine Thompson and Shelly Ann Fraser-Pryce as the fourth fastest woman in history. She goes on to win the 200 as well in 21.6, brand new personal best. That's 2 gold medals as well. Individual medals, I might add, because she then went on to win the 4x1 relay with the United States, becoming only the second one behind Shelly Ann Fraser-Pryce to win the triple at a World Championships. And that Shelly did hers in 2013, so it was 12 years later. So I don't understand why athletes who won one individual event, right? Because Sydney won the 4x4 gold as well, but that's a relay event. How do they get a nod over an athlete who won 2 gold at the World Championships and did similarly well throughout the course of the season? Because that's what the World Athlete of the Year is supposed to be about. The excellence through the course of the season, taking on all challengers, and of course winning. Sydney ran a handful of 400 meters during the course of the season. And if you look at her record compared to what Melissa Jefferson did, I mean, 10.6s and 10.7s all season, beating all comers. She goes to the pinnacle of the sport at the World Championships and wins 2 gold. Beatrice Chebet took on the best of the best, some of the best long distance runners in the history of the event, and won 5,000 meter gold and 10,000 meter gold. And you're telling me that those 2 women have been excluded from the final, especially, well, look, here's the thing that bothers me. If you're going to use the social media as a metric, how is it that Sydney McLaughlin and everyone, the second to last in terms of the media, social media, is in the final? Melissa Jefferson was final, just a few points behind, is out. But Faith Kipyegon, who was outstanding in the course of the season, who had the most social media votes by far, is not even considered for the final. I mean, I didn't even make the final. And Beatrice Chebet, who is second best, doesn't make it. Something to me is wrong with how this system works. Because it's like the last time when Sydney won, and look, don't get me wrong, I have nothing against Sydney McLaughlin, everyone. You all would have probably seen my interview with her when she came here for the Grand Slam track in April, when I asked her what her limits were. I have complete and utter respect for her and her accomplishments. To me, she's perhaps the greatest track and field athlete in the modern era because she's good at so many different things. But the athlete of the year is specific to that year, right? It's just like when Shelly ran in 2022, when Shelly ran 7 times under 10.7 and won the World Championships and did not even make the final. Something is amiss here because all of these 5 women were outstanding in the course of the year. And it came down to the crunch. We are at the pinnacle of the sport, at the championships. 2 women won 2 gold medals each. And they were overlooked or discarded in preference to 2 women who won 2 individual medals. I don't get it. Somebody has to come and tell me and relieve me of my ignorance why this is the case. Because as far as I know, 2 golds is better than 1. No matter how you cut it, no matter how you slice it, 2 golds are better than 1. And in terms of the individual events, it's even more stark that Sydney McLaughlin won the 400 meter, the flat 400 meters, yes, and Femke Ball won the 400 meter hurdles. That's the only thing that they won. And the 2 women who won 2 gold medals somehow get excluded from the finals. Now look, whoever wins, I'm happy for them. As I said before, at the top of this, outstanding year for all of these women. But when it continues to irk me that the women who did well in two individual events each got left out and got discarded for the final of the Athlete of the Year. Of course, we know Mando Duplantis is going to win the male field athlete of the year. That goes without saying. And of course, I think Tara Woodall is going to probably be the favorite for the field events. I mean, those are easy because nobody has compared to those two during the course of the year. But when it comes to the track athlete of the year, there clearly seems to me to be a bias. I don't know what the bias is, but it feels wrong to me. And that's why I had to say something about this. Um, Look, maybe there's an explanation that will make sense to me eventually. But until then, it bothers me a lot. I remember that there are no Jamaican athletes in this, there are no Caribbean athletes in this. So I'm speaking here from an objective standpoint for two women who I feel were slighted by this system of World Athletics to choose the female track athlete of the year. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. You guys have been doing fantastically well. And I love the comments. Some of them are very informative and some of them are really, really interesting to read. So keep them coming. Until next time, this is Leighton Levy saying goodbye and see you around soon.